Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we will be looking at Forcepoint's Web Security Cloud solution. This is designed to inspect web content and prevent users from accessing inappropriate websites and security risk sites while they're browsing the internet. In today's demonstration, we'll go over the methods of deployment, the policy protection controls, and the options for reporting. As a quick overview, let's begin by understanding what is Forcepoint's Web Security Cloud. This is a fully hosted SaaS solution that protects users in real time from advanced web-based malicious threats, provides granular controls for web browsing activities, and offers some data loss prevention controls. With over 25 data centers and 125 points of presence, Web Security Cloud provides protection controls for a global roaming workforce. Let's start this demo by outlining the deployment methods that are available for the solution. There are two main deployment methods. One is based on an endpoint agent and the other is based on a firewall redirect. The endpoint agent is the most common deployment method used by Forcepoint Web Security Cloud customers. There are two types of endpoints that have slightly different functionality, but both provide the ability to protect a global roaming workforce. Both endpoints will apply your web policies to the user's web traffic port 80 and 443. Both endpoint types support Windows 64-bit, Windows 32-bit, Apple OS, Mac OS 64-bit, Citrix, and VMware. These endpoints support almost all modern-day browsers such as Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Apple Safari. Let's discuss how these endpoints function and how they differ. The Proxy Connect endpoint is the most used endpoint type. This endpoint redirects all traffic to the Forcepoint Cloud Proxy for analysis by enforcing a pack file into the user's system. The pack file or proxy auto configuration script is a text file that includes logic that tells the system where to route the user's web traffic. In this case, it's routed to the Forcepoint Cloud for filtering. This endpoint supports the widest set of security features such as SSL decryption for real-time content analysis, data security scanning, and file sandboxing. It is important to note that the real-time protections that are available with the endpoint rely on the Forcepoint Cloud being able to decrypt the SSL or HTTPS traffic that is coming from your users. To be able to perform SSL decryption without presenting errors to the end users, we must deploy the Forcepoint Cloud SSL certificate to the user's machines. This certificate is available in the policy and is typically deployed to the user's machine through GPO. The less common endpoint type is the Direct Connect endpoint, and the Direct Connect endpoint was designed really to resolve certain issues that some of our customers experienced when using the Proxy Connect endpoint. This endpoint functions by sending traffic direct to the internet rather than being routed through our Forcepoint Cloud proxy. When the request is made by the end user, the agent checks in with the cloud to determine whether or not the user is allowed to go to the site they are requesting. The cloud logs the request and informs the agent whether or not to block. The Direct Connect endpoint is ideal for use in situations where the use of a proxy may be problematic. Direct Connect endpoint can improve security and usability of the service in some of the following scenarios. Off-site users that proxy connections cause issues. In areas where geographic firewalls prohibit the use of proxies. When geographically localized content is critical. The trade-off when using Direct Connect endpoint is that not all of the Forcepoint Cloud features work due to how the Direct Connect endpoint functions. Some of these services include true file type download blocking, cloud data security, bandwidth reporting, and YouTube for Schools. For more information regarding how the endpoints function, please refer to the article below titled Web Endpoint Overview. For more information regarding the Direct Connect endpoint limitations, please refer to the article below titled Endpoint Deployment and Installation. Now that we have discussed the endpoint deployment methods, let's talk about the Firewall Redirect method. The endpoint agents are great, but they will only enforce web policies on the user's machines that they are installed on. To be able to filter other traffic, such as network traffic, there is a firewall redirection method. This can be used in conjunction with the endpoints. It really depends on your specific use case though. Do you have devices in your network that you cannot install an endpoint on but you would like to filter? Or do you need to apply policies based on IP address or network range? Let's take a quick step back here to mention that the endpoint policies can be applied to the user or group, while the firewall redirect can be used to apply policies to the user, group, IP address, or IP range. This is a key differentiator between the endpoint method and the firewall redirect method, but both methods can be used in conjunction with each other. When you have the endpoint installed, you will still be able to apply web policies to the users when they are roaming. When you are only using the firewall redirect, you will not be able to enforce policy when the users are roaming unless you force them to VPN back in. Now back to the firewall redirect. This method allows you to configure your edge firewalls to route web traffic to the Forcepoint Cloud service. This will utilize a GRE tunnel or an IPsec tunnel to perform the routing. When multiple firewall redirects are configured, you can assign which connection receives which web policy. The firewall redirect method is ideal for situations where there is a guest Wi-Fi network with users that do not belong to a domain, and authentication and SSL decryption are not required. It is also ideal for situations where there are unmanaged endpoints that require web policy enforcement, but that cannot have endpoints installed on them, such as servers, guest devices, etc. For more information regarding the Firewall Redirect, please refer to the article below titled Firewall Redirect. Now that we have covered the different deployment methods that are available, let's go ahead and take a look through the console. When we first log into the cloud portal, we are presented with these dashboards as a landing page. There are 4 web security dashboards available by default. These dashboards can be edited to include different information, or you can create your own custom dashboards. Let's take a look at these dashboards. The threat dashboard is where we can see information related to what security risk websites your users are attempting to access, knowingly or unknowingly. The bandwidth dashboard is where we see bandwidth information related to your users. The productivity dashboard is where we see information related to users going to non-work related websites. And the cloud application dashboard is where we can see information relating to which cloud applications your users are accessing and what risk each application poses to your organization. We will go into more detail on this dashboard later in the demo during the reporting section. For now, we will go ahead and move on to discuss the policy creation and administration. On the policies page, we can see all of the policies that are configured for this account. Here you can see that I have 3 policies configured. I have a default policy, which is going to be a general user policy that blocks security risk sites and social media sites. I also have an IT security policy that is mostly unrestricted because my security team needs to be able to investigate other users' activities freely. Lastly, I have a marketing policy, which is for users that need to be able to access social media sites for their job. So let's go ahead and dive into this marketing policy. In the policy here, we can see multiple tabs for different sections of the policy configuration. The first tab is the General tab, where we can configure the time zone, quota time daily limit, and session length. The quota time is used to provide users some access to specific categories for a limited amount of time per day. For example, if you wanted to block the users from accessing Facebook, then you could assign the quota action to this category, which would allow the users an hour per day to access Facebook. The Connections tab is where you will configure the egress IP of the networks that will be filtered by this policy. This is used to identify traffic from your organization's egress IP to apply policies to it. The End Users tab is where you will assign users and groups to the policy. This is where you can assign different departments to different policies, such as the marketing group. The Forcepoint Cloud solution uses a tool in your network called the Directory Synchronization Client that syncs your AD with the Forcepoint Cloud. This tool is not required, but simplifies the overall management of the solution by automatically updating the cloud with any changes to your AD. The Web Categories tab is where you will define what the users who are assigned this policy can do while browsing the internet. Here you can see all the categories and subcategories that can be controlled by this policy. Here you will see that there are some categories that are blocked by default, such as adult material, extended protection, and security. This policy is fully customizable, allowing you to change the action taken against any of these categories. This tab is also where the SSL decryption feature is enabled. The SSL decryption feature is what allows the Forcepoint Cloud service to inspect your users' HTTPS traffic. When this is enabled, the Forcepoint ACE engine can perform real-time content analysis to protect your users from malware and other threats. So let's take a moment to discuss what the ACE engine is. The Advanced Classification Engine, known as ACE, improves threat defenses by identifying and classifying information to deliver real-time security protection across all of our solutions. ACE uses 8 threat assessment areas and a unique composite scoring process that enables our solutions to protect against the most advanced zero-day attacks and APTs. For more information regarding the ACE engine, please refer to the documentation below titled Forcepoint ACE Engine. Now let's get back to the policy. On the side here, you can see the actions that are available for each category. From top to bottom, the allow access means that any website within the category is always accessible, regardless of if it exists in another category that has the block access on it. This might seem confusing that a website can exist in 2 categories, but let me try to clarify this. This solution allows for the creation of custom categories to give more granularity to the admin. When a website is assigned to a custom category, it now exists in 2 categories, the original one and the custom one. When this recategorized website is accessed, the cloud will apply both actions to the request. To not create a conflict, the cloud has to have an action hierarchy. The action hierarchy is as such: allow access, require user authentication, confirm, use quota, block access, do not block. For more information regarding action hierarchy, please refer to the article below titled Filtering Action Order. Now let's get back to what these different actions do. The allow access, as I mentioned before, is essentially a whitelist action set to always allow. The require user authentication access will ask the user to authenticate themselves to confirm they are who they say they are before they can access the website. The confirm action will present the users with a block page asking them to confirm that they are accessing the site for work-related purposes. The use quota action will present the users with a block page asking them if they would like to use their quota time to access the website. The amount of time that a user can access on this site is what was mentioned earlier on the General tab. This is 60 minutes in 10-minute increments by default. The block access will block or blacklist websites unless the website also exists in a category that has the allow action on it. Last but not least, the do not block action will just defer action to another category or allow the website through. Underneath the actions, you will see the SSL decryption section. As I mentioned previously, SSL decryption is key to the real-time protection capabilities of the solution. With that said, there are some situations where SSL decryption is not ideal. Sometimes the traffic that is decrypted could contain personal or financial information about your users. This type of information typically exists within the categories that are marked with the padlock icon. It is typically recommended to decrypt all categories except the ones marked with the padlock. So let's move on to discuss the file blocking tab. Here you will see that the policy can be configured to block specific file types or even custom file types. If you do not want the users downloading EXEs or other high-risk file types, then the policy is granular enough to give you that control. The last tab that we will discuss is the Data Security tab. This tab is where you will see the DLP Lite capabilities that are included within the policy. This policy can be configured to monitor or block when it identifies PII, PHI, or PCI information that is leaving the network through the web. We can also configure the policy to protect from data theft. This is when the cloud detects common password information, encrypted file types, or other things like that leaving over the web. We can take a block action against it. Now that we have covered the policy configuration options, let's discuss one account configuration that will improve the overall security of the solution. Forcepoint's advanced malware detection feature performs file sandboxing for any unknown or suspicious files. The AMD feature uploads suspicious files to a cloud-hosted sandbox for analysis. The sandbox activates the file, observes the behavior, and compiles a report. If the file is malicious, an email alert is sent to the specified administrator that contains a summary of the incident. This feature is quick and easy to deploy by just enabling this checkbox. This feature is an add-on to the base subscription, so just talk to your account manager if this is something you'd like to know more about. For more information regarding the advanced malware detection feature, please refer to the article below titled Forcepoint Advanced Malware Detection. Now that we have discussed the policy customization capabilities and the advanced malware detection feature, let's move on to discuss how this solution integrates with other solutions inside the Forcepoint portfolio. The Forcepoint Web Security Cloud solution has been integrated to work with other solutions in the Forcepoint portfolio, such as the CASB and Next Generation Firewall. The Forcepoint CASB integration is available to customers who own both the web security and CASB solutions. This integration allows for traffic related to protected cloud applications, which are assets defined within the CASB solution, to be forwarded to the CASB solution for policy enforcement when received by the cloud proxy. This integration provides proxy-based activity visibility, anomaly detection with user behavior analytics and risk assessment, real-time mitigation, as well as SIEM and AD integration. For more information regarding the integration between Forcepoint Web Security Cloud and Forcepoint's CASB solution, please refer to the article below titled Forcepoint Web Security Cloud and CASB Integration. The Next Generation Firewall integration is also available to customers who own both the Forcepoint Web Security Cloud and Forcepoint Next Generation Firewall solutions. This integration allows for the Forcepoint Next Generation Firewall to redirect web traffic to the Forcepoint Web Security Cloud for inspection. This integration also provides the Forcepoint web proxies with information regarding the internal source IP addresses and can pass along user identification information if configured on the Next Generation Firewall. For more information regarding the integration between Forcepoint's Web Security Cloud and Forcepoint's Next Generation Firewall solution, please refer to the article below titled Forcepoint NGFW and Web Security Cloud. Next, we will look at what reporting capabilities are available within the solution. The first section under reporting is the report catalog. This is where you can find pre-built reports that can be run on demand for your management. This is also where you will find reports that have been customized and saved by the admins. Here we will run one of these reports to see what it looks like. When we run this report, we are taken to the report builder. This is where we will see the results of the search that was run when we selected that pre-built report. Here you can see the output is based on the grouping and filtering that is set at the top. To change these results, we can drag and drop new attributes from the left to the grouping or filtering section at the top. The report builder also allows for the addition of graphics such as bar graphs or pie charts to help visualize the data that's presented. Once we have created the perfect report, we can export it now or save it for later use. If we investigate this report in more detail, we can see the number of hits listed. If we select the hits, we will be taken to the Transaction Viewer section, which provides us more detail around each request that is made. The Transaction Viewer does not allow us to group the information like the report builder, but it does allow us to have more granularity over the body of the report. As you can see here, we can drag and drop any of the attributes or metrics into the body of the report. Like the report builder, we can export these results or save them as a report for later use. The final part of the reporting that I would like to show you is actually back on the dashboard from the beginning of this demo. Here, we can see the Cloud Applications dashboard, which presents us with information regarding which cloud applications your users are accessing, and this is what is called a Shadow IT report and helps an organization understand their risk relating to cloud application use. Here we can also see which cloud applications your users are accessing, the risk level of each cloud application, which users are accessing each cloud application, and the number of times the users are accessing each cloud application. Thanks for watching this video where we demoed the Forcepoint Web Security Cloud solution. During this demo, we were able to discuss the deployment options, observe various policy configurations, and experience the reporting capability of the solution. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below or reach out to your account manager for more assistance. If you would like to see more of these videos, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to be alerted when more videos are posted. See you next time.